Olá! Bem-vindos, galera! Estamos ao vivo aqui de Las Vegas, no escritório do Upland. É a primeira vez. Hoje a nossa live vai ser em inglês. Estamos com o Matt aqui com a gente.
Thank you. I'm just going to pretend like I knew what you said. I know you said that we're doing it in English, and it's because of me. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Vamos fazer as perguntas. Vocês podem deixar a pergunta em português. A gente traduz para o Ney ou para o Matt. Deixem perguntas que vocês quiserem. E let's go. Let's start this interview. First of all, Matt, who are you? What
Sure.
do you do here
Yeah. So my name is General Mort. You guys may have seen me on YouTube and stuff. I host the auctions with David, but my title here at Upland is product lead, player engagement. So I handle all things that are, all the in-game events, all the in-game activities, all that stuff. I've also been leading the charge on all of the onboarding changes that we've been doing. So the Explorer Center, the Mission Center, those are all both things that I've been working very hard on over the last 6 months. So I do a lot, but it's it's always changing.
Nice. You know, Matt, right?
He's famous.
Yes.
I wouldn't go that far, but thank you.
And Ney, you all know Ney, but
glad you have everybody here. Say hello on the chat so we can say hi to you. I'm the head of Latin America expansion for Upland, so I'm doing this expansion of the operations for new countries in Latin America. We started with Brazil back in 2022, and now we have Argentina, and who knows in the future, right, Matt? We will have more countries upcoming in Latin America. So it's been a pleasure, and let's go. Now let's put the focus on Matt, because we have General Mort here. You know me, guys. We're always together, but thank you for coming. Thanks for showing up.
Nice. Oh, we have some questions already.
Okay.
Ney, we are curious about cafes. Cafes are, it's amazing. Cafes are going to change a lot of things in Upland. I'm super excited about cafes. They're coming.
Yeah, they are coming. I can't say too much, but we should have some more updates possibly today, actually, for you guys. So please stay tuned. We'll definitely be talking about it a lot tomorrow. It's a huge focus of ours right now, and really excited to kind of give players that next level of socialization in Upland, and give more power, user-generated content, allow people to kind of host their own stuff.
Yes, I'm looking forward to host YouTube lives. Inside the cafe.
Absolutely.
People talking AMAs, everything. It's gonna change a lot of things in Upland for good, I think.
Absolutely.
I hope I can grab one for me soon.
I'm sure you'll be high on the list.
Yes. Nice. And Berlin's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of questions about Berlin too. We're excited about that. And why Berlin?
Why Berlin? That's a good question. I think we wanted to do another European city and do something that was going to be really interesting and just fun for players to do. Obviously, Genesis Week, we want to, we kind of did that first thing last year with opening up Las Vegas Live. So wanted to reprise that again. We talked about a lot of different cities, but Berlin just felt like the right city. It just felt like it was going to be culturally significant enough, something that was exciting and something that the players were really going to enjoy.
Berlin is awesome. I hope I can go there, and we're gonna have a live there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm sure Dirk is really excited about it.
Yeah, but Dirk is here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You know that Dirk was cheering very much for Berlin at the World Cup, right?
Yep, he certainly was.
Nice. And let me check why Berlin. The question was here. Why Berlin? Dirk is from Berlin.
I don't know if he's from Berlin, but he's from Germany.
He's from Germany. Yeah, maybe some place over there. And Bill, why is Dirk? I don't know if the question is right.
Well, we have to ask for his parents.
Why is from Berlin? And a question for Ney. So, Latin America. What are the plans for South America for this year or next year?
So we started the rollout of Argentina. Because it all came together, right? We had this partnership with AFA with the soccer clubs, and then we made that challenge with the country that won the World Cup, we would be launching,
Mhm.
releasing the capital of that country. Coincidentally or not,
Yeah.
it was Argentina,
Argentina.
and then
Right.
we released Buenos Aires in the map. It's always good when we have such an important destination that we have some on ground support. And in that case, AFA is a very relevant partnership. So it makes sense to have someone in the location to work this, to leverage this partnership, right? So we started with Argentina and Buenos Aires. We now have an operation there, but we see it more as a movement of gathering all the Spanish speaking players together in this big community. Spanish is the second most speaking language across the globe. So our idea is really to bring these people together and start creating more and more content. We need the community, because
Yeah,
the
of
most
course.
valuable asset for us is the community generated content. So we need Spanish speakers to start doing what you do, what Loyal Dial does
Right.
in the US, what these guys are doing here, Brazucas,
Mhm.
generated content in education on how to play Upland, the best strategies, how to start your life in Upland. As much more as we see this coming up in Spanish, we know that the community of Spanish speakers will expand a lot, and this is our objective.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to help the people that are just beginning in Upland. So Spanish, it would be great to
It's
have.
embracing the newcomers, right?
Yes,
Absolutely, yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And about you said about the user content creation, that's also another thing that's amazing. That's just starting in Upland.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what we have factories starting right now,
Mhm.
right? And what are the plans for what players can do with factories? What
Yeah. I mean, I think
everything, right?
yeah, everything and anything is the long-term answer, but in the short term, we're going to continue to scale out the programs that we've already launched, like structure ornaments, map assets, those sorts of things. And then with carts coming, this is going to be the first opportunity for players to design and actually manufacture their own cars, which is really exciting. And that is just the precursor, right? That's just the first step towards going, even deeper down that road. So right now it's all about managing scale. It's difficult, right? We launch something in beta usually every time just to kind of test things out, see how we work with the players. But we've learned a lot through that process and understood a lot, what are their design challenges? What are the things that they run into that are roadblocks? And then on our side, what are the things that we run into, right?
Yes,
I think it is really understated how much work goes into, taking in player submissions, evaluating whether or not they're qualified to open these things, and then going to the design phase and actually making sure that their designs meet our guidelines. So,
it's a process.
exactly. Yeah. It's a huge process, but we've developed some really good tools, some really good processes internally to kind of scale that up. So that's kind of the focus right now. And then as we do that, any person, any brand is going to be able to jump into the game and extend their presence into the metaverse, which is kind of the goal.
Yes, and that's something that I like to say to people in Brazil or anywhere that doesn't know how to develop games, how to program.
Sure.
They can do, because
Yeah.
Lens Beta that I'm working on, I didn't code almost nothing there, but we came up with ideas.
Yeah.
So you just needed ideas, and the process to put your own app in Upland is going easier and easier.
Right.
It's very, very easy to integrate with Upland. So I mean, if you have an idea, try it. Try to talk. The developers are all open to talk about to help you to create your app. And it's a game changing.
Absolutely.
Your idea
And
inside the game.
My hope is really that people are willing to share their ideas with the community so that they can network. If you're not a developer, that doesn't mean you can't execute. You can find other people to work with. And part of why we started the Upland Developers Network was we wanted people to collaborate. We want people to work together. So that's also something we're really going to be focusing on. You can see it in the projects, like with the hackathon this year. So many of the submissions from the players are these are players that met each other through these channels that decided to build something together, which I think is awesome. So we really want to keep pushing that and promoting that. And, ultimately, like you said, it's going to be a lot easier to launch your apps and stuff inside of Upland. And, we'll be scaling all of that up.
Yeah. And it is huge because players can add values for whatever they want.
Yeah.
Don't need wait Upland to come up with something. Just do it.
Yeah. Just do it
in your way.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And we have a question here. What what's what is it? Oh, here. Do you have plans for another continent?
I mean, eventually, yeah.
All of them, right?
Why not?
All of the continents,
Why not?
yeah.
Why not?
At some point, yeah.
All
I'd
of
love
them,
to
right?
go to Antarctica at some point, maybe. That would be interesting.
Let's check another one. We have a lot here in English, in Portuguese also. Um, that one is good. We should open a English school in
That's a good
Upland.
one.
To learn
I
about-
vouch for that.
You should, yeah.
100%, yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
That's
Yeah.
possible. Totally possible. Cafes. They
Yeah,
can
absolutely,
Go on
yeah.
and try to
You can
speak
have
in
English lessons. Yeah.
Amazing.
University in Upland.
And paying up.
Yeah. It's going to be the cheapest
Uh,
degree you ever get.
Let's check another one. What's the future of Buenos Aires and Argentina Football Federation? Maybe we can take this one.
Well, we were at the very beginning of the partnership, right? So we did a first drop of some spotlight goals, which are pretty cool.
Mhm.
We're having conversations with them to see what other content we can get. Of course, we always want more, right? In terms of content, we want the precious things. We want the early days of great players that were playing in the league. So that's what we are envisioning. But it's very early yet. Imagine that implementing one soccer club such as FC Porto that is there already. It is a lot of implementation work and to create the entire product. Imagine a league with several different teams. So it's much more like what we have for NFL with the football team. So it's quite a lot, and it's coming. I think it took a while until even the partner understood what the potential of this brings right to the table, what they can do with this. So now that we have this local support there, and we opened operations in the country, I think that's going really well, and to be seen. We expect the best. I mean, one of the things that we've been discussing is that when the partners, they learn what else they can do in Upland, and they bring their community and use Upland as a platform, as a home and a hub for their community, it's where we get the more power out of Upland, right? It doesn't need to be exactly that product with the legits and the collectibles. A soccer club could have a cafe. I imagine that. I envision sometime a partner like a soccer club will assign like a community manager and say, you're going to work together with the Upload community and bring our presence into the metaverse. And why not having like a community manager of Boca Juniors opening its own cafe to make post games conversations.
Sure,
So for me, the key is community engagement. Is really we going there and welcoming the newcomers, and they coming to us and learning from us and learning how to explore the Upland universe more. There's a lot to do, right?
Yeah, a lot to do.
Absolutely.
And the guy, like you said, from Boca Juniors, maybe he's gonna be more close to the fans.
Sure.
It's easy to talk.
Sure. If I was an Upland player, passionate about playing Upland and a big fan of a club, I would start doing like a user-generated content around that, right? Because then you grow your community, you grow your business in Upland, and at some point you could really have your own Boca Juniors fan shop
and sell.
Yeah,
nice. We have a lot of messages about the English school in Upland. Guys saying, "Oh, I would pay up to learn English for sure." Big idea. Rio Node University.
Hey,
Nobre.
Oh, Nobre.
Nobre's here.
Musida University.
Musida University. How to play. With one more European city, this is from Ivo Coelho, would be a greater chance of having cafes nowhere in Upland and more the Upland and with more interactivity.
Not sure I understand the question.
Me neither.
But yes, there's always going to be, I mean, this is just the beginning, right? So there are going to be more and more chances, more opportunities for people to open cafes. These first cafes you guys are going to see are probably going to be, ones that we design for you guys, just to kind of test things out, test the waters, make sure everything is good before we'll kind of open it up to the UGC layer. But, once we do that, everybody's really going to have a chance to open up their own cafe. I think, as long as you've got the building, you know, you have the prerequisites and all that stuff.
Yeah, I passionate about it.
I can feel your
Lucida
excitement,
is there.
Lucida.
He's
Yeah.
following. Like,
Buena café. And we have here, this one is good. The Los Grandes partnership, how it's going to be beneficial for
Oh, wow.
Upland is
Wow.
amazing.
This is an amazing question. Thank you. Well, we see more and more the esports industry testing the waters into Web3, right? So I just heard like this week that maybe the next version of GTA will have like NFT elements into it.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. So I see Los Grandes because they have teams playing in all the leagues. So they have professional teams playing Valorant, Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Call of Duty. So they have professional teams playing that. And what they want to do with Upland is really bringing their own community and use what Upland can offer for engaging the community in this Web3 meaning. So they will drop collectibles. Like, imagine if you're a big fan of League of Legends, Los Grandes was the world champion last year. They will have like a trophy of that you can collect. And we're going to use the same currently in-app mechanics that Upland has. So you will have your fan points, and you'll be able to trade your fan points for in real life benefits like the New Jersey. So that is the idea with Los Grandes. It's important to say that Los Grandes came to us to say, hey, we have this idea. We want to get into Web3. We see what Upland is doing. And they partnered with Lumix Studios, that you guys probably know is a very famous Web3 startup in Brazil. So they both joined it to design what is going to be the implementation plan inside Upland. And the core of it is community engagement. So it will be beneficial because we're going to receive and welcome a lot of new players coming from out of these titles. Valorant players that now start having a building in Upland, then the League of Legends, all the others, because Los Grandes wants to create an entire neighborhood, a headquarter, and also have a cafe, and have their broadcasters and players there for post-game shows, meetups, digital, virtual events. So it's really fascinating. I'm very excited about this one.
Very cool.
Me too. We have a lot of great players in Los Grandes, so they bring a lot of fans with them.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
it's the new
amazing.
soccer. The people say that the new generation doesn't cheer for São Paulo or Real Madrid the same way that the old generation did, but now they cheer for Los Grandes, Furia, Crew, and this esports organizations.
Yeah, I saw the last CS:GO championship. People were crazy.
50,000 people.
It's why. Oh yeah, people lose their minds. I went to the League of Legends World Championship back in 2015, I think, at Staples Centers, and it totally blew my mind. I was just like, I can't believe that there's this stadium is filled with people to watch a competitive video game. It was like a dream come true for me, and one of the reasons I wanted to work in gaming. I mean, everybody told me I was wasting my life all those hours on World of Warcraft.
So,
and stuff,
Yeah, 100%. It's fascinating.
The parents, please don't tell your children stop playing.
Yeah. It's different now. Now it's like, okay, keep playing. Maybe you actually make a career in this.
You're gonna be a soccer player. No,
It's
player.
it's a big
It's a business.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whoa, a lot of questions here. This one is good. No, not this one yet. Where is the when
totems.
totems will be online? Will it be for sale only for USD? Are it there? And how expensive are they? Do you need to rob a bank?
When is always the question we get. I don't have an ETA for you guys, unfortunately. We are working really hard on this. It is actively in development, so that's a good sign. I'll just say that. In terms of pricing, I also don't have pricing data for you right now, but my guess is they're not going to be too crazy expensive. I don't think we're going to sell them for USD, but don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. But it is going to be a limited time drop. That is something I can tell you guys. So there's only going to be one collection of totems ever.
Wow.
So the idea being that, these totems, despite the fact that they'll be usable in different cycles, if you guys go read the blog post about it, we talk a little bit about that. But this is going to be the only time, when we do originally sell these, it's going to be a one-time thing. So, secondary market is going to be your pathway to get those things if you miss out on that first drop.
I want one. I want everything. Well, this one is also good. Maybe I think Nate is getting.
Oh, beautiful! I hope it.
When we are going to use Apex to pay things in real life, like coming to Jenna's week, it's gonna be true.
Yeah,
it's not impossible to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
One day, perhaps. We'll see.
One day.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have this one.
The sooner the better.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Yeah. People from Brazil can come.
If you guys work in an airline company, give me a call, right? I can help you with that.
Whoa. I have to read
It's another leg acid again.
Which one? Being able to open kind in school here. It's something I would be looking forward to. Oh, nice. Hey, Nate, how soon do you think we will be able to buy the same question? Playing with Apex.
You know that if we have like a travel agency or an airline company that loves Upland and is there and is interested in growing its net worth and having more and more Apex, imagine that a big player is the owner of a travel agency.
Sure.
He could do that. Like they could exchange plane tickets and travel package and accept payments in Apex, right? It could be like in the future a meta venture or
I mean, it's like
that.
It's like airline miles, right?
Exactly.
You pay with your credit card, and they give you discounts and points against your tickets. So if a brand did want to come in, they could certainly offer some type of discount or something along those lines for those tickets, and maybe just buy your ticket outright. That would be pretty cool.
That would be awesome.
Yes. Yeah, and it values Apex.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
Just strengthens the value. Yeah.
Or in real life ways to use it. I know that we don't want like that Apex become a currency, right?
Sure. Yes.
That's not the point here, but
again,
it's always on the engagement perspective. So the way I'm phrasing it is like the owner of a travel agency which loves Upland and wants to grow and build in Upland, and for him it's important to have Apex. So why not tie the real life business with the presence he's building in Upland and do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
This one I think is for Matt. Where do you think Upland can head in the next 5 years? Do you think the game is just on the beginning?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you can go back and if you want to compare Web3 to the internet back in the day, like I don't know how much you guys used the internet back in the late 90s, early 2000s, but it wasn't very good. It wasn't very friendly, at least. User experience was poor and it was hard to understand how to do things. Upland, we've only been around a few years. We're trying to build something that you would probably want to build with like a 1,000-person team with a 150-person team. So yeah, it's going to take a little while, but in 5 years, I mean, just take a look at where we've come even in just the last 2 years, right? Yes. I joined in April of 2021 and the ecosystem has changed dramatically. The economy is so much more dynamic. We've introduced all kinds of new features, new types of classes of NFTs. So, the fact that we were, able to accomplish such a large amount of stuff in such a short amount of time is encouraging. So, I mean, give us another 5 years and I think it's going to be a pretty awesome experience. So, you can imagine, and I don't think that there's necessarily going to be one metaverse that rules all or anything like that. But, you can imagine a full virtual world or at least a portal to many virtual worlds inside Upland. Really kind of depends on how the users want to take it and run with it, right? We always say that our goal is to empower the players to kind of build things, build experiences and do stuff. So ultimately, we're here to create the tools, create the infrastructure, and then let you guys take it and run with it. So it's up to you what you want it to look like in 5 years.
Yes. And also Web3 is just starting, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we're just in the earliest days of crypto and Web3. And, we've been talking about it for many years now, but these things, it takes time to iron these things out. And these, from a technical perspective, these things are really complicated. It's not like, there's no guidebook on this stuff too, right? Nobody's ever done this before. So we're all just trying to figure it out. We're doing our best. And, I'm excited to see what happens in the next 5 years. Absolutely.
100%.
this one's for me. You seem to master swapping collections, or I didn't, but I remember back then that day. And what advice do you have for players or players in general to be able to achieve this? Well, now we have a lot of new ways to get updates, right?
Yeah.
We have apps, we have other games, we have hunting,
treasure
hunting, a lot, and they are gonna have the what's the name?
Stem. Yeah.
Stem.
token.
It's coming, so it's another way to. You have another ways to play Upland right now.
Right.
Collections were something before, but we don't need them to get epics. I mean, hunting is very good to get.
Yeah,
to get
hunting
epics
hunting can be really profitable, especially if you play in like some of the other hunting events that we do and stuff. You know, a lot of players generate quite a bit of epics by treasure hunting.
Yeah.
Yes, and collections, swap collections took a lot of time to do. That's why I didn't do that. But you can.
Yeah, it used to be a lot more prevalent until we introduced the cooldowns, but we
Yes.
needed to do that because so many players were abusing it. So
for sure.
but we did just reduce those timers, so it's a little bit faster now. So now,
Yes.
you know, we took down, I think, from
7.
limited is now 3 days, and then exclusive, I think, is 14, and then 21 for rare and ultra rare. So it's pretty dramatic change, in my opinion. So I'm hoping that breathes a little bit life into the
Yes.
collection market.
But the main idea here is we have a lot of ways now.
Sure, yeah, not the end all be all.
Yeah. You can.
And actually, admissions is going to be a great way to generate epics
Missions
in the
are-
long term. So it's
Yeah.
still really early with what we just deployed. You know, we only have our first 4 missions or so, but the idea is to expand that greatly and give players good milestones and things. Reward them for playing the game. Right now, that doesn't really exist. You can buy properties and complete collections, but if you're not efficient, you're not effective, or sometimes you just don't even know what you're doing, right?
Yes.
Players, a lot of new players, like they struggle with what to do next. So it's going to be a little bit more linear. We're going to hold their hand the whole way. And then the idea is to also, create bonus missions, tie it to events, give regular opportunities to win, not just epics, but spark, badges, block explorers, every type of reward type. Yeah. So you could even think of, in the long term, we could take what we build with missions and turn it into like an achievement system. So if you hit a certain milestone, you get a badge for that. You collected your 100th treasure, so you get the treasure hunter master badge, something like that. So those are the things that, that's why the mission center, although it's not the sexiest and most exciting thing, it gives us a lot of flexibility in how we can help the player progress throughout their Upland journey. So I'm really excited about that.
And I think the word mission, it helps that the guy's gonna
Yeah.
stay there. I have to
Right.
complete this
100%.
mission.
Exactly. Yeah. It gives you
Yeah.
like, it's a call to action, right? Here's a mission, you have to complete it. So
Yeah, that's amazing.
Learn to earn.
yeah, literally, yeah.
In English, also you can learn English now. You're gonna build the university here. What kind of missions will be available to players?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So the first missions that we're deploying are all going to be very focused on the new player journey. So stuff like buying your first property, completing your first collection, winning your first treasure hunt, those sorts of things. Very basic, just trying to teach the player the mechanics and stuff. But we're of course going to grow beyond that. So some things might be, go participate in this new in-game event that we're launching, or sometimes it'll be time-based. So maybe it's, complete 3 collections in this 7-day window, stuff like that. And then I think even longer down the line, we want to try and encourage players to have, to engage even deeper in their journey. So like, if let's say you have like 10 key missions once you hit Uplander, and these are new things like build your first building, or maybe buy 5 properties, we're going to basically, the point is I'm trying to make sure that every single in-game action can be used in the mission system. So quite literally every single thing that you do in Upland could become a mission in some way, shape, or form. And then on the tail end, in terms of rewards, I also want us to be able to reward any type of asset via the mission system as well. So there's very direct feedback for the player. It's very quick. They can very clearly see their progress. Things like we do, like this week, we're doing the Genesis Challenge. And we have to do that all on the web right now because there's no in-app functionality for us to kind of build that type of leaderboard. But using the mission system, you can imagine where we say, okay, here's all the things you can do for the Genesis Challenge. The player can see how they're progressing. They can collect their points, and it'll be a lot more, engaging experience.
Yes, for sure. absolutely. And from Marcelo here, he's kind of asking, like, landmarks are very expensive because
Sure.
of the real world
Right.
relation. So if you have plans to bring more value to real world stuff, like we just have street views right now.
Right.
Do you have any plans for?
Well, we talk a lot about, or we haven't really talked much about it, but we have two different classes of landmarks, and one is monuments, and I think we touched on it with Lucille with the World Cup. So we do have some plans. We want to do stuff a little bit more, with certain landmarks, make them a little bit more special. You can imagine, like, for example, maybe there's a racetrack tied to that particular landmark, and whoever owns that landmark might earn revenue based off of all the races that take place at that landmark. Stuff like that. I think those are the ways that we'll look to enhance the value of landmarks. I mean, I think even though they're more, they're expensive, you get a custom model on top of it that mirrors the real world, which is, adds a lot of value. And I think some of them are really lucky. Like the one that we auctioned yesterday, the Grammy Museum, was a double ultra rare collection property. So like,
double ultra.
Yeah, double ultra rare. So like earnings potential of those are really high, which I always think is great. And, some landmarks hold their value just because of that. But we're absolutely going to be looking into more ways. And, we talked about this, I think, in the past, allowing landmarks to be meta ventures and, running businesses from them. So you can imagine that some players might want to run, maybe a standard meta venture or something like a cafe outside of the, what I mean? So we'll see. It's all still in development, but we absolutely are going to be looking into ways to add more value for landmarks.
And Chico is asking here, any plans for like us to make any kind of structure in other countries when Genesis Week is happening, so people can join this place and
absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's the dream. That's what we'd love to do, is like have like a cafe in every city and let everybody come and experience Genesis Week together. That would be ideal. So
online, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're definitely looking into those things, and you guys will just have to stay tuned and see what happens.
That will be a hybrid event. Very interesting, right?
Yeah,
very interesting. Yeah, each country
right
getting together, and it'd be amazing. Did you see him? It wasn't even a master. No.
Yeah, he wasn't a master. I know a few masters.
I need time to make all the videos. It couldn't be there.
Giving you too much work.
Yeah. Oh, Tutski is saying here, Upland is the best Web3 game by far. Congratulations for the team, especially for the Brazilian team, Sidney, Nobri, etc. You are doing an amazing job. Thank you, guys. But Upland is the
Thanks.
best.
No, we thank you. It's all about the community. So
thank you so much. This is a big Web3 guy in Brazil, right?
He's
like, you have a huge community, and
it's awesome.
You're also doing an amazing job, bro. Thank you so much for always spot on Upland in all your content. And keep bringing us the alphas, all right? When you have a very good alpha, you have my WhatsApp number. I FOMO a lot, so keep doing it. But thank you so much. I was at an event, and the panelists asked like, why most of the Web3 and Play to Earn games didn't succeed. And this guy was at the panel, and he would say, because the games are shit, they're crap. Upland is cool. That's why Upland is there. So thank you for that, Tutski. You're amazing, bro.
Tutski's amazing.
Appreciate it.
Amazing. I think this one is for Ney. Is there further knowledge about stock car racing partnership?
Oh wow, I cannot burn the news. Some news are coming here at Genesis Week. We will keep you guys posted, but hell yes, this partnership, it will look amazing. You guys will enjoy a lot. One thing that I feel is that the stock car team, they are very excited to be joining Upland. So that makes the difference, right? So they are bringing ideas to the table on how they can give more benefits to the Uplanders who are following them into the metaverse. So that is super cool. And also working on ways to bring their own fans into Upland to collect their items. So expect a great partnership out of this, because they are very excited.
Yeah.
That we're at Genesis Week, and the CMO of Stock Car, Gustavo, he's here. He came to the Genesis Week. He's talking at a fireside chat with Jeremy and Ida tomorrow. So they're very, very excited about everything that is coming out.
Nice.
Yeah,
on
we'll
the
have
way.
we'll have more details tomorrow on both
Yeah.
the product kind of overview that we're going to do earlier in the day, and then I believe there's going to be a panel on cars. So
Yeah. A lot more to come.
tune in, come check it out tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we have a lot of things,
Yes.
things going on. And this is an interesting question.
What will badges be useful for? Yeah, that is it's a good question. I think like everything, all the rewards that we give in Upland are all tradable assets, right? Everything is true ownership. The one thing that is not tradable are badges. So, I think it's actually kind of cool to have a little bit of both because, people who collect badges, you earn this prestige, this thing that nobody else can get. And it's a one-time offering usually, right? You earn something like, the, what do we call it? The Master Designer badge or whatever we called it for the Master Builders competition or Master Builders badge. There's probably only like 25 people in the game that have that badge. So there's some real true prestige to that. You're the only person that can show that off. So in my opinion, I think having badges is just a really unique way to add some personality to your in-game presence and, have something that nobody else has. So that's what I think badges are cool for. You get to show off a little bit. It's pure prestige and kind of, just value for you as an individual.
Yeah.
I have one that's really good.
Which one is
Which one do you
yours?
have?
The player of the
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. You're the only one that has that right now, huh?
Yeah, that's a good one to have, right?
That's a great one to have.
That one is unique. That's the one is good. Upland grow more than Bitcoin. Well, that's big questions here. What do you think about putting extra earnings into buildings?
That's something that's interesting. We have been discussing it. I will say there's no plans to change anything right now. But we are, Upland has changed so much. In its infancy, it was just kind of this pure property trading game, and everything was based on properties. And then we've introduced property development, and we haven't really made any change to kind of like the earnings mechanisms. So, one thing we have talked about, and again, no timeline or no real plans for this, but something like dynamic yield. So it could mean something that like maybe you put a building on your property, you get a bonus yield or something along those lines. And something else we need to take a look at too is progression when it comes to like your assets. Right now, the only thing that really ties to your net worth is your properties, right? And your UPX balance. We totally recognize that is suboptimal. Obviously, there's a lot more ways to progress and grow in Upland. So we want to find, how can we tie all these things together ultimately? So we are talking about it. We don't have any plans at the moment, but it's something that's definitely top of mind and something that we want to tackle probably in the next year or two.
Nice. This one is also cool. Do you have plans for
so that's something that I was talking about scaling meta ventures earlier, and we actually did release a tool recently to the community that you can basically submit your models and it will run it through a validation tool. It will tell you all the things, to flag all the things that are wrong with your model. You can go back and fix it, resubmit, and when it passes, it'll come through to us. So that way we kind of eliminate that manual review process, which is super, super time consuming. So it's been really good just internally for us, but we are now going to be giving it out to the community so that they can basically check their models before they send them to us.
Nice.
Yes.
we did that.
Yes.
It's hard to.
Yes, absolutely.
This one is interesting. Sure. I don't know how to say that word.
Inheritance. Yeah. So, this is a tricky one. I don't think we have a perfect solution to this yet. I think right now this is probably mostly on the responsibility of the players. If I know I have a substantial amount of worth in the game, I probably want to have some backup, or at least make sure my significant other has the login or something. But it's certainly something we should discuss and probably have some sort of internal process for, because these things happen, and the more we grow, they will happen, unfortunately. And we want to make sure that those assets are still protected and owned by somebody, and not just kind of ghost and dead inside the game.
Yeah, but you have to take care.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Right now.
Yeah,
it's interesting because some players have a lot of money in the game, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That has a lot to do with custody, right? Because that player should think about how to pass the custody in case something like that happen. Like what will happen with your Bitcoins in your MetaMask if you just passed away.
Same thing.
It's pretty much the same thing, right?
Right. Yeah. So there has to be some responsibility on the part of the player. Of course, as the operator, we want to do everything we can to help in those scenarios. So if that did ever happen, of course, we would want people to reach out to us and try and rectify. But because of true ownership, it's not like we we can say, oh well, this player inherits it, so transfer all their stuff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's probably not going to be that simple. So we'll definitely have to figure out what the right way to approach that is.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get in the end of the interview, but we have some real good questions here. What would be the coolest function in the Upland for the Spark?
What would be the closest
function
in Upland
closest
for the Sparks?
What's
I don't understand the question.
the closest? Let me try to think in
I know. I'm
Portuguese.
trying to, what was the reverse? Yeah.
What would be the closest?
I think he's gonna like what's gonna be the next thing that people will be able to do with Sparks rather than just building structures.
Sure. I mean, I can try and answer that question.
Yes.
I mean, we've talked about in the past, like potentially having, your cars might need to be refueled with Spark, stuff like that. So I think anything, right now, the way that we imagine Spark, or our kind of high level description, is anything that manifests itself on top of the map needs to be manufactured with Spark. So, although manufacturing is the core function, that could be manufacturing for cars, for buildings, for structural ornaments, for map assets. So across the board. So as we continue to build, asset types that exist on top of the map, all those things are going to require Spark. So, we've added a lot of utility there, and we hope to just continue to add on top of that and make it more accessible and easy for players.
Yeah. And I think I have the last question.
Okay.
We have trains, we have airplanes, cars.
Mm-hmm.
How about ships?
One day.
Soon.
Yeah. No, I mean, ultimately, I know we want to extend to all forms of transportation. So, I know internally we've been talking about stuff like airplane NFTs and whatnot. So no strict plans to execute on it now, but it absolutely is in our mind. That, yes, I know people want boats.
Boats.
Everybody wants boats. It's absolutely in the vision and in the plan. We just don't know when just yet. So we have some other stuff that's a little bit higher priority, but absolutely it will be happening at some point. Yeah, it'll be super cool.
Cheaper but longer.
Exactly. Yeah,
it'll be amazing. And I have a marina in Upland. So
perfect. I'd like to get like an old 1400s ship, like a Spanish.
Caravel.
Yeah, exactly, a caravel.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
It'll take me 12 hours to get across the map, but it'll be
underwater
world.
Space.
We're not ready to get there yet. We still need to get just Earth first, and then we'll figure it out underwater and space.
Private helicopters. Well, you can have
private.
You can't have aviation without all that stuff. Yeah. So
e-commerce. Okay. Honey, do you have any final thoughts about Genesis Week? Well,
that's my first
future.
Genesis Week. I'm excited to be here. So it's gonna happen tomorrow, right? So today is the happy hour,
yes,
and tomorrow the full day of event. I'm excited. I know General Mort here is a very good dancer, so I'm looking forward to it. And thank you guys for the community we're building in Brazil. I appreciate and respect you a lot, and the energy and trust you put in the game. For me, that is the most important thing. It's having a community, right? So we're building a community. We're like-minded people. When we get to meet each other, we enjoy playing together, doing trades, going to live events. So that's what excites me at most when we, as Upland in Brazil, we're doing something in an event, a crypto event or a blockchain event. We get a space for Upland there, and you guys show up. And you were there with me the full day explaining the game for people and newcomers. I think that shows how passionate the players are about Upland, and I think that we're building something. I was just saying that to Dirk yesterday. I think we're building something amazing. Sometimes I see Matt some community questions or complaints, and I always say, Lucas, I am part of at least 50 Web3 projects as a holder. Some are blue chip collections. And there's no other project such as Upland that does that much for the community. So if you see the blog and events post about what Upland achieved in the first Q of 2023, what we did in January, February, March, guys, that is something we're doing a lot every month, a lot of evolvings, a lot of enhancements in the game and the experience. So that is giving back to the community, in my point of view, right? As I said, in all the other Web3 projects I am, from the little ones to the biggest blue chips collections, I don't see such a level of commitment from the project to the community as we see in Upland. So
absolutely.
that means a lot.
A lot.
Definitely.
That's the core, I think.
Oh,
Community.
yeah, absolutely.
We are amazing. Nay.
Yeah?
Where can I buy that?
No, I'll ship you one of this. We have a bunch in Brazil. Just get in contact with me. I'll give you as a gift. Thank you.
And some Nay, we love you in Portuguese. Some fans here. And also, Matt, any final words?
Yeah, I'm just excited to be here, excited to be doing this again for the second year in a row. I mean, last year when we decided to do it live, it was like such a nerve-wracking moment, you know, like we've never done anything like this, and trying to put together the whole show was such a monster, you know, thing to take on, and it still is. And I can't understate how hard all the people are working in the background is to make all this happen. All the in-game events that we're doing this week, all of the in-person events that we're going to be doing this week. It is a huge effort. We are a small but mighty team, so I just hope that everybody enjoys what we have in store for you guys tomorrow. It's going to be super fun, and like you guys said, it's all about the community, and we're trying to emphasize that even more this year. I can't wait to see like our community exhibitors, you know, to actually show off their projects and be able to talk and network with everybody. I think it's going to be a really special opportunity. So thank you guys all for your support, and thank you, of course, to the team in the background that's making all this happen. They are killing it. So yeah, that's about it.
And thank you for having me here.
Thank you. I'm honored. The one and only Musita. Come on.
Here, when I started up,
The professor.
Yeah, the professor.
The professor.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine that I would be here one day with you.
I'm happy it's you.
Thank you a lot. Thank you, everyone that is here. A lot of people today, almost 100 people online. Thank you. And let's go. We are just starting the Genesis week. Tomorrow have a lot of things going on.
Let's get it started, yeah.
A lot of hackathons stuff. I'm curious about FIFA ones. Yeah, let's see what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, so thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Keep it tuned.
Have a good night, day. I don't know.
Bye-bye. Bye, Caio. Just see Caio over there. Cheers, bro.
See you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.